think Asia EU. I think that was a wild card. Um, but anyways, we're gonna go right back into it. But yeah, I was just saying, I I don't think anyone expected Meax to go this far into the bracket. Uh, especially I think being the only European team to get into the lower bracket. I know IB is still up there,
Hmm.
playing against Acer. But hey, we're heading into the lower bracket now. This is also going to be a best of three. So lose two maps here. That is your tournament run coming to a halt.
That's correct. And DYS putting up a valiant effort against Ivy, but getting knocked out on the final map, which was Miru. Let's see what they can do this time around as they try to beat those who upset as well. DYS upsetting Rect, Meax upsetting Acer EU. Who wins the upset here? Both these teams on a lifeline here in the lower bracket, and we're going to be starting off with Meax on the colonist side attacking this B artifact site.
And Fizz is able to find Isabel, who is trying to turn it towards his catwalk side. The cross there, but there is a gap. That gap is going to get punished as random arrows tries to push through the cross. And now Infuse and Gray have to back up. But look at this, it's Pop-Tarts that hits towards the ninja side. Spots Gray. So shotgun on the other side. It's Duke able to actually falls to Sid towards the mid side. But still, push from long. It's still in play as Gray's able to take down Pop-Tarts. But still, Fizzy confirms the kill onto Civ, just down the Gray and Infuse in a 3v2.
This round slows down, but look at how low the two players on Meax are. Fizzy just killed one with a single bullet from the PM9. That should tell you how low these players on Meax are. And it looks like a double swing could be the end of both these players. Infused on literally 1 HP. Tabby clean up the round, and DYS get their first on map 1.
Round starting.
You know, I think we can both agree on this one, Heritage. I think we both have DYS writing in the books here and going on to the next round of the lower bracket. What do you think?
Yeah, I have it. I think what matters is going to be that server side.
True.
It is the wild card. These are respectively, both of them are dominant regions. LMK able to find a Civ, but I was saying.
Oh, what a nade from Isabel. Close frag around the corner.
Yeah, and Isabel is going to push up, and the nade smoke there is thrown a bit too early. Didn't expect Fizz to get aggressive. And now the push on long. It's going to go through. It's going to be a cross. If Fuse gets through, able to take down Pop-Tarts. And now, Global Dystopia have to back up. They're going to have to back up. They're going to have to play this post plan. And now, it's going to be a even 3-on-3 juke from the flank as well as Fizzy. Gray goes down. Abby on the catwalk side, able to get this trade just down to Infuse in a 1v2 situation, playing towards his back site. And spots the head of Juke. Smoke Glare acting as that kind of a lifeline. It's a trade, and Fizzy's going to confirm the interruption of the scan. It is going to be 2-0.
See, in that situation, Heritage, Meax need to have a little bit more pressure on Cat. But it works out in the end because DYS, they don't rotate off of Catwalk in time to cover the site push, meaning Meax gets the site, DYS has to reposition. But that was a blessing in disguise. DYS wrapping around long, Juke and Fizzy together, absolutely dominating on the flank, and Meax was not ready for it at all. They expected the players that they spotted on Cat to still be on Cat, but no, an alternate angle is their downfall. And we'll see how DYS holds this one. The rotates need to be a little bit better, but Civ will start this round out strong for Meax. Let's see what they can do with it.
An aggressive push from Civ, shutting down LMK towards the slower ton side. Fizzy on catwalk again, unsuccessful. Tries to do a bit of pre-fire towards the lower ton side, punished for it. Nade there as well, as that is catwalk completely open for the side.
Scanners towards B here.
Meax as well, Civ able to find Juke. And now it's just Pop-Tart to hold the side alone. Goes down Tabby in a 1v4 scenario. No utility left for both sides.
Tabby one shot away from death. It is not looking good for him, especially against 4 players who are pretty stocked up and ready to play off each other. There's not many positions Tabby can push from here without being spotted, and it looks like he's going to run straight into random arrows. First round on the board for Meax. And how does Meax strategize after that? They had a really strong initial push, but now DYS is going to be aware of where Meax pushes hard. They push hard onto garage. They push hard onto lower tons from a main, something that DYS has done in the past. So DYS, they know where this aggression is going to come from, and now it's time for them to adapt to it. Can they adapt to it in one round is the question, or will they falter and give Meax a few more rounds before they reposition? It looks like LMK is already set up and ready on a prime position to stop both a lower tons and garage swing, and I am so in for it.
Waiting it down, maybe taking a little bit of time. Now there's a bit of hesitation, a push on the side. Is random arrow. It's going to be the first engagement. Going against Pop-Tarts. Smoke is there as well. LMK able to find Isabel, but without the trade from Civ. Gray shuts down Pop-Tarts. That is site control for the side of Meax. They're able to control B site, but they have to deal with Fizzy, who is towards Catwalk. And the scan is going to go live. 3v3, even post-plant situation. As Infuse are able to take down Tabby from this mid side. And able to cut off this rotation. Have to buy enough time. Just down to Juke and Fizzy.
I don't think Juke is gonna have enough time to wrap around here. He's got to just group up with Fizzy, and Fizzy, stalled by the flash earlier. He has nowhere to go, nowhere to fight. And it looks like this is a second round for Meax. A hard push does them justice. LMK able to find one in mid, but not able to find the follow-up. Unexpected as the long push comes in, and that makes the B site fall. What a round for Meax. Oof. Hard push is working very well.
The fifth round, it is very tight.
Yeah.
It's very close.
It's working out well here for Meax. They're pushing really well, but this early nade, oof, just barely too high.
LMK and severe engagement.
Ooh.
Fight towards lower ton. Smoke
accidentally tosses his gun instead of the smoke. Yeah.
MK.
Oh, he's got to be careful about his backside.
And LMK gets cleared from lower tons. It's Fizzy from Catwalk.
Makes a play, but now he has to solo cover B. Fizzy now has to solo cover B while there's a fight going on in lower tons. Civ is alone, but so is Fizzy, and he's got to hold off a three-man push.
Off on his own. He's being utiled out. He's being needed out of positions and gets shut down. It's down Tabby into another one before. And this time with a bit of an earlier rotation towards long, but I'm pretty sure we might see another repeat. Finds random arrows, but Gray gets the confirmation as Meax lead up by 1 round.
I mean, Meax, they're just stacking up on top of each other, swinging together to guarantee those trades, and it is textbook Vail. I've said it earlier in the Acer game, but just relying on these well-known strategies, relying on the team coordination that you know works. Big props to Meax for sticking to it. And we'll see if these double swings help them push through the defense of DYS just a few more times, or if LMK will shut them down here in mid finally. Oh, good nade on Isabel.
Nade there as well. That unfortunately did bounce off the pipe, so won't find Isabel. The Pop-Tarts is able to get that kill still, but Fizzy able to find Gray. And it's a 4v2 random arrows and infused power. I have to think of something. Just a minute and 20 left on that clock. And they're just gonna wrap it all the way back.
Swing comes out. Oh, LMK found. 2 versus 4 though is still a tall order. Especially with a rotate here from Tabby. Tabby's got to know, and he spots one as well. The rotate's known, the scanner is known, and that is DYS wrapping overhead. Pop-Tarts has to be careful about power here.
Infuse heard it.
Oh.
It's there. Good. I mean, just good luck trying to drop off and get a kill.
Scanner's alone here, though. Tabby
alone. It's being quartered.
Tabby needs Juke to swing out. Juke needs to find this kill before Tabby dies.
Juke is going to swing out in time. Now the location, the call out is there. But now infused power. Only 30 seconds left. Scan is not in his hand, and he's going to drop. It's going to be 3-3.
Oof. Get ready. Is it really just the EU players messing up DYS today? I mean, faltering to Ivy and now struggling versus Meax. I'm not sure if they have enough experience against these EU teams to really make a difference. Meax, though, going back to what works, stacking up together,
Classic
trying to
bread and
pressure
butter.
mid. Yep.
Civ and LMK, once again, another gunfight. This time, there's going to be more support towards this middle side. 3 members of Meax are going to be pushing towards the LC side. Isabel gets the kill onto LMK in the form of a trade.
Happy supports, though. And that gives DYS the man advantage.
And now it's a 4v3. Civ on critical health. Fizzy falls as well, but the scan is towards the middle side, which has Dystopia control as Tabby is able to take down Civ. Scanner has to get retrieved as Infused and Gray have control at B, but they don't have the scanner, and now all this global Dystopia has to do is anchor down.
Tabby's in tube. He's all the way towards garage, and he's in a prime position to stop this recovery. Gray is aware of it, though. And he knows that Fizzy, although dead on Cat, was traded out by Pop-Tarts. There it is. There's the one. Tucks in and waits for a peek from Tabby.
1v2 for Gray. A push, able to find Tabby. Now it's down to a 1v1. Juke trying to play a bit more aggressive.
Juke hears him going long, right? He does.
Seconds remaining.
Surely, by now.
And Juke is wrapping long behind him. This is genius from Juke. He's taking it slow. He's taking his time.
He's playing methodical.
And he spots him too. Juke knows. Gray's on site right now.
It's there. Gun is up. The movement's there. Oh, he drops.
Drop
He
noise.
drops, and I just don't think he hears it. And Gray just doesn't check.
4 rounds for DYS, but they need a 5th here to stay in the lead going into the next half. Pistol round is going to be absolutely brutal on them.
Scan interrupted. Round starting.
You know, Meax successfully pushing forward there, but their mid presence absolutely getting destroyed. You know, DYS switching up their positions every single round, switching up how they swing into mid every single round is really doing them justice. They're not winning every single fight that they should, but at least they're managing to just barely scrape by in the lead, and that's what matters right now, especially on their defensive half.
And look at the mini-map. Meax is stacking towards this mid side. They're sending everyone there. A nade is gonna disperse the side of Meax. They won't have to stack anymore. But now the rotation is gonna come in. There's Gray with the scanner in hand. So gonna be a little bit more of a default. And still, there's a lot more gunfights towards this middle side.
They swapped out Fizzy for Pop-Tarts on Cat. We're going to have to see if Pop-Tarts can hold this push, though. As the long push comes in.
Finds the pick onto Civ. But I think this execute is going to come in from the side of Meax. Smoke is tossed. Cross is going to be smoked off for a certain type of angle towards the long side. Fizzy goes down. LMK has to climb up that ladder. Pop-Tarts falls as well. 3v3. LMK finds Gray before going down. 2v2. It's even. And there's 35 seconds left on the clock. Isabel able to get that scanner in hand. And it's going to be a 2v2 post-plan situation.
They're going long again. I mean, Meax predicts this, right? They have to. DYS has retakes B from long every single round. This can't be the right play, and Power knows. I think... Did Isabel
just crashed? She just crashed.
And that's 5-3 for DYS.
That's 5-3, as we're gonna be swapping sides. With Meax gonna be starting on the defensive half. On the defensive half.
Wow.
Scan interrupted.
I mean, Isabel wasn't full health there. I don't know if they would have made most difference, but I mean, 2v1 definitely is more comfortable for DYS than that 2v2 there. Infused excuse me, not just Infused, but Meax, knowing that DYS tends to retake from long there so far. At least that's the strategy they've been going for every time on B. Predicts it properly, but fails to execute on it. Now DYS, man advantage up. They're just going to go for a hard hit.
Yeah, they're just going to hit this site. They're going to be pushing onto A side. Juke able to take down random arrows. The extension coming in from the backside. Since they would find Juke, but the pinch from the backside is there as Tabby's able to confirm that kill. 2v2 surprisingly. But it's going to be the post plant there as well as a smoke tossed. But Infused Power does have utility.
How does this turn into a 2v2 is the question. Well, never mind. Pop-Tarts just wants to shut it down. And 2 headshots will do the trick. Pop-Tarts. Absolute beast with the PL-14 there. Maybe I need to get on that thing. I've been liking the G17 too much.
You know, I think one of these finals, someone's gonna like get cocky and pull out the NXS.
Oh no.
Someone's gonna pull out the NXS hammer.
Okay. Did you not see that one clip? I think it was Tabby. He pulled out the NXS hammer revolver with the magnified double scope on it and close range killed someone in a Kitty bubble. I think it was on one of the clip channels for VRML or clip videos. It was absolutely hilarious. I'd love to see that again.
Yeah, but look at Juke and Pop-Tarts are able to make their way onto this A side. Sid finds one before going down, but still, the amount of pressure is too strong. Cuts down the Gray into a 1v2 situation. And with no utility, and look at the positioning coming in from Dystopia. They're just going to try and start and buy just enough time. They're just going to
That knife lands right next to Gray. That's scary. And oh,
Busy takes down. I just don't think Gray checks. I just don't think Gray. I don't think Gray.
He made
has
a footstep
time.
noise. There's no need for Tabby to peek. Tabby knows.
Tabby knows it's gonna be a drop shot. It's a trade, but the scan is still running. So it's Dystopia's round as they make it to 7.
Wasn't this a tie game not that long ago? I hate to say it, but I think the disconnect
like
really just
3-3.
ruined the mental. The disconnect ruined the mental of Meax, and they're not recovering, it seems like. They really need to get back on track. They can't let one round, one man down, destroy them like this. But they do have 2 more maps. They do have second chances, and Infused Power. Oof. Getting confident. That's what you need to see right now.
Infused Power making that early swing on a Busy. Random Arrows also able to find a nade onto Pop-Tarts. Now Juke is tucked in all the way towards Catwalk. Bit of a Jill peek. Infused Power nade is there. A little bit too high, actually.
I think it connected with the barrel, actually.
LMK. It made contact with the barrel.
It did do damage, though.
It did, but I think 25%. But
Tabby and Juke in a 2v4, yeah.
I mean, Tabby does have the scanner in hand.
Also has util.
I'm not sure if they want to wrap. They do want to make this rotation.
Juke's gonna make noise. Oh, wait, but Infused Power is late on that peak. Wait, what is happening here?
Yeah, they're really late on that, and now the rotation's gonna come in. As now it's Civ that's gonna have to defend this site. The rotations from Meax have to come in now. Nade is gonna be thrown, bounced off from Juke.
The smoke is late.
Nade is there, and Civ goes down, and now that is gonna be the site open. Nade is thrown, knocks down arrows to around 50%.
35 seconds. They're worried about somebody backside here.
They cross. I'm pretty sure they spotted. I'm pretty sure Juke spotted all 3, and this is gonna be the call out. Tabby with the knife, unsuccessful, goes a bit too far. Infused Power gets slinged across, but Gray confirms that kill as Meax make it to 4.
I was gonna say it's Tabby's time to shine, but getting shut down after that first pick. If he had a little bit more HP, maybe the stock diff comes in there. And I gotta be honest, it is a poke at him. I am stabbing at Tabby just a little bit. It's all in good fun, though. DYS in the lead on our first map of the series. Can they lead it 9-4 here, or will Meax start to mount their comeback?
Tabby taking that early pick, able to find Infused Power. And now the push is there. That is B open for the side of Dystopia. They're going to make their way. Fizzy's going to be pushing onto the site. He's going to be checking sandbags. He knows there's one in Graffiti. Nade is thrown. And it is an absolute smoke fest as there is an exchange towards mid. 2v4. Scan is up. It's going to go down. It's just down to Civ in a 1v4. And just good luck trying to get this thing done.
Wow, 8 rounds for DYS. Pop-Tarts takes out Civ with a nice clean headshot on that AK-12. Seeing the AK-12 more and more on Suna. I really appreciate it. The long-range capabilities of it are really underrated. I want to see more of it. Especially on the other maps. We see it plenty on Suna, but there's some other opportunities for it. Maybe we'll get some new artifact maps soon. We'll have a bit more opportunity to see the AK-12 other guns in use.
I'm inhaling the dig cope.
The John
dig cope
Cletus.
as well as Frio.
John Cletus. Give
I'm
us
still
the
waiting
map.
for Frio.
All right. Random arrows playing towards scaffold. We'll see. DYS are stacked up on long.
Is alongside of B.
Gray gets spotted.
Look at how much spraying there is. Tabby able to take down Gray, but the exchange of mid goes in Meax's favor. But control of B is still an access of Global Dystopia, and it's an absolute spray down.
Wow.
As Global Dystopia have taken map 1.
9-4 for Suna as DYS takes it. Busy doing the jump up, finding a headshot on one back site, finding another after the jump up on the ladder sandbags. What a performance from them. And it looks like we're going to be getting into another server shortly to swap regions, because this is an EU versus NA game. Taking one last look at the scoreboard. 13 kills for Gray at the top of his team. Tabby 15 and 8 coming to life this time around. You love to see it. But a short break as we get into the next lobby. What are we thinking of game 1, Heritage? I'm thinking a little bit close for comfort at the start. DYS, I think they can take this series if they keep playing like that.
Yeah, if DYS keep up that overall attacking phase.
Yeah.
Because it did look like that Dystopia's defense was a little bit off. They managed to get it fully even around 3-3, 4-3. A little bit of an unfortunate disconnect from the side of Meax, but it's as long as Meax are able to find a couple of these staggers inside of the Global Dystopia offense, they're able to take at least potentially a second map. But overall, they're perfectly fine on their defensive side.
Yeah, I mean, DYS, it's been a bit 50-50 with the attack side today. Meanwhile, though, their defense is super solid. They're consistent on it. And I think they're just not used to these EU teams. That's the main issue here. A lot of these NA teams are coming into Crest League. They're not used to EU teams, or the EU teams have not been scrimming each other often enough. I wouldn't know. I haven't been... Only EU team that I've really been talking to very much is Ivy. I won't lie to you. Shout out Fraza. But I need to see more NA versus EU. Yes, the times are tough to line up, but it seems like the strategies are a little bit different on the attack for these two regions, and I'd like to see why. I'd like to put a little bit more time into why, but we're not going to see that unless we get more Crest Leagues, more NAs versus EUs, and of course, signups are completely open if you want to participate in the next one. I mean, I'm not participating because I'm casting. I'm sure you are too, Heritage, but the doors are always open for more EU and NA teams to face off against each other, because we don't get to see that in the other leagues. And I think that's a very important part. Having those cross-league matches shows you the strengths and weaknesses of both regions, allows you to adapt your strategies, your team, for all situations. And that's what you're going to need coming into the last few matches here of Crest League here in the November circuit. Heritage, I've got to ask you a question, a very important one. How do we get an EU team into the finals of Crest League? Because we haven't seen it happen in a hot minute.
We haven't seen it in months since an EU team has won a Crest League.
Do you think there's a specific reason EU is not on par with NA? Do you think?
Well, I think it's built because of player base and difference. But I think because we do have 2 European, well, kind of. We have a hybrid team.
Yeah,
But
we have a mixed, and then we have a full European
we
team
have a
right
mix,
now.
and we have a full European team. So it's just, I think, scheduling issue. No one wants to play at like 12 a.m. or like 2 in
2
the
in the
afternoon.
afternoon. Yeah.
Exactly. So that's why there's been a bunch of scheduling issues. Even then, I think a lot of people undermine Europe as this kind of like underdog region. I think over time people start to look as it is because like of how many errors
Mhm.
or basically the mistakes that European made, and
Well,
like they usually get assumed as like if a European team came to North America, they would have been like around that mid tier
yeah.
level.
Gotta say though, there are a lot of European players, individuals that are absolute stars that would blow NA out of the water. I mean, I know a lot of people give Fraza some crap, but he's been popping off on stock recently. Achilles is another name that comes to mind. He's also a stock player, but is on the #1 Vail team in the world. It's Acer. Any other names that come to mind besides Fraza and Achilles that you'd like to mention, Heritage?
On the EU side,
I mean, Isabel's been a little bit inconsistent, I will say, but Isabel's been a strong contender for top EU player recently.
top EU player, I kind of want to throw in wildcard,
Mm-hmm.
and who can I think of? I don't pay attention to the European. Uh, I'm gonna say Pan,
Tactical Pan, yeah, good
Tactical
pick.
Pan, even though unfortunately they were knocked out a little bit early. I think Deuce Volt's also a good one as well.
Yeah, agreed. Is Volt a freehand? I'm not 100%. I know
I
Pan.
think Deuce was
Stock.
a stock user.
Okay, so majority of the EU players that we're discussing, mostly stock players. Pretty sure Volt was a freehand, I believe. I'm not sure. I'd have to reach out and ask, but definitely some strong EU players out there individually, but we haven't seen a EU super team of sorts. The most recent thing we've seen of that was the former Crimson Claw, which is now Acer EU. They used to dominate the EU region before VRML was really a solidified thing in Vail back in the I don't want to say olden days, but the IVRL days, the 2023s. But I'd like to see another EU super team. I want to see a good region-based rivalry. I think that'd be healthy for the game, especially considering, these EU players seem to be a little bit more aggressive than most of the NA teams. You really only see aggression out of some of the top or like higher tier NA teams. Some names that come to mind are previously Chem. Acer obviously has their fits of aggression because, they just have the best gun skill on the planet right now. But most of the time it's these star players or these star fragging rosters that really show up. And I wouldn't mind seeing an EU super team. While we're waiting for map 2 to pull up here, I'm gonna go ahead and give you a draft pick, Heritage. I want you to make a cross region team.
Oh,
What's your ideal? And it can't be a current existing team. It can't just be Acer with one new player. I want you to make a roster for me. Cross region roster.
What's the maximum amount of players I could pull from a
2
active team?
2.
2.
Let's go 2.
Okay.
I think we can both agree we're starting with Achilles, right?
Let's see. We'll start off with Achilles.
Strong player.
I think
good IGL.
Really strong IGL.
Not the star of Acer, but can definitely pop off at times. Is just very consistent all around, I'd say.
Yeah. And I think this is an obvious one. We're gonna grab Kodiak.
Kodiak. Okay. So that's we can't pick anyone else from Acer now.
No, that is no one else from Acer. Let's go with Acer EU because that's still technically that's a different team.
Yeah, yeah, I guess it is. I guess it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. Um, my draft pick. Let's go. Well, okay. I have an entry, then I have a IGL.
Okay.
I'm gonna. So I would for a. I need a roamer,
Mm-hmm.
a flex, and a support.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna put. I'm gonna put. Oh crap! Who's a really good support player? Um.
I mean, we saw a lot of lurks earlier today.
Yeah.
I mean, the split pushes there we saw from what was it, Bleach, um, as well as some of the other players on that team. The flanks and lurks were really good there, so you could pick Bleach or Micro as a lurk option. I think that'd be really good. Get some Oceania representation, you know.
I mean, we could do micro.
And Micro is a fairly solo player. I think he'd fill out that roster a decent bit.
Um. I'm gonna have Pan as the support player.
And as a support,
Um.
okay.
And then I think on the NA, let's we could probably do. Let's go Jacob as the flex player.
Okay, that's an interesting pick. I'll say. I would go for a completely different roster setup. I kind of am against the single IGL idea. I really like the idea of having two people bounce ideas off of each other and catch each other if they're making too many patterns. So I'd go for an Achilles and Basil Maz together. After that, I would probably pick up Micro as the individual lurk. And if I wanted two support players, I want to be a little bit biased. I'm going to go towards DYS. And I'm going to say maybe, just maybe pick up LMK from there. Very all around very solid player. Doesn't pop off as often as some other players, but LMK I've seen him very consistent recently, so I wouldn't mind him filling in that fourth spot. Obviously, chemistry wouldn't work out too well, but I'm ignoring that part. I'm playing more for the roles. So we've got Basil Maz, Achilles, Micro, LMK, and I need to fill out one more spot. I think I'd go to Acer EU, and I'd also say Pan there to pick up as our support and last consistent fragger who can also play a lurk role if needed. So two EU players, two NA players, and Oceania player would be my pickup roster. It looks like the players are still getting into server, but where does that roster go? I'd say like if we took that roster and compared it to the current VRML rosters, I think they could definitely get top 6 just off of gun skill alone. And then depending on how the IGL chemistry goes, probably top 4. Maybe displacing Rect one place down. But in terms of placements, we've only got a few more matches left. Aerial versus Rect is going to be wrapping up shortly. We've still got 2 more maps for Global Dystopia and Meax waiting on Acer and Ivy, though. That is going to be an absolute banger. Ivy upsetting Global Dystopia 2-1 to push on into the winners finals. And we only have 6 teams left. Heritage, how are you feeling about the bracket? Who's filling out here? Who's moving forward?
I think okay. Let's get rid of the obvious one. Acer, IV, and Rect. That's probably Rect and Aerial. That's swinging our way. I think everyone else, Acer, IV, those are gonna be like top 2 at
Mm-hmm.
most. Um, at least one of them is hopefully. I think both of them are actually gonna make it to Grand. Uh,
Okay. I think if Global Dystopia wins this one, they're gonna have to rematch Rekt. Aerial Rek's been going on for a bit now. So I think Aerial's really putting up a fight. I'm at this point, I'm really not sure who wins that match. I want to say Rekt, but based on what we saw with Aerial and Acer, Aerial's definitely capable of a major upset here. We've seen a few upsets this tournament. Rekt's already been upset once. So I'm going to go ahead and have Rekt and Global Dystopia moving forward for a rematch. That one's a toss-up. But I think Ivy gets knocked down here by Acer. And we'll be seeing them play the winner of Rekt versus Global Dystopia. Does that sound about right to you?
You're expecting Rekt versus Dystopia?
Yes, I'm expecting Rekt versus Global Dystopia.
in losers finals?
Yes. Well, in losers, technically it's loser semis. Technically it's loser semis because Rekt versus Global Dystopia moves on to fight the loser of Ivy Acer.
Dude, I think if Meax performs better, if they could bring up or like at least send it to 3, I honestly think there's not enough stamina for Dystopia to move on.
Gotcha. I really want to hope that Dystopia gets to top 3, but if they have to face Rekt in this next round, I think they might get knocked out at top 4. And while I think that's a good finish for them, I think they definitely wanted to place above Ivy, above Meax, above possibly even Rekt. So I think Rekt coming into this, I don't know if they're expecting to win. Obviously, every team wants to win, but realistically, when you see Acer in the finals for what time is this? 7th, 8th? I couldn't even tell you anymore. They've got almost 600 CL points at this point. Nobody is really dead set on winning. They're a bit they're consolidating second. And I hate to be the Debbie Downer, but I think Acer just is unbeatable in their current form, especially if they play the right roster. I mean, Aerial, we definitely saw them bleed with Aerial. And we definitely saw them bleed with a longer match in Denver against Rekt. But rosters have changed since then, and you say Rekt has gotten stronger. I say Rekt has gotten weaker. Why do you say that?
Because I think, especially even though they have lost Fizz, that is one of their probably more important key players. I honestly think replacing in subbing in, I think Rusty. Like I think that is, although questionable pick, as like I'd say quote unquote wild card. I still think that is still enough power because Rekt is, I would say, more of a they aren't relying a lot more on their aim. They rely more on their strategy and game sense. I'd say than any other.
Personally, after being on a team a very long time ago with Fizz, spending some time, a little bit more time with the Rekt guys recently after Denver, I feel like the Fizz drop would just really hurt them, and now they're getting these map upsets by Global Dystopia, other top teams in the top 4, and we're getting into our map 2 of Meax versus Global Dystopia. Surprise, surprise, we are going to be on Kitty for our map 2. What do you think about that?
This is definitely a Meax pick.
No, this is a Dystopia pick for sure.
Is it a Dystopia pick?
They're starting on attack. And I know for a fact they play scrims, map 2, Kitty. This is their pick. They planned this. DYS is trying to finish this in 2, I think.
Well, map 2, Kitty.
Yeah. I have not seen Meax play on Kitty in a long time, and definitely not with this roster.
I honestly think they expected more Miru.
Yeah. We'll see how LMK plays mid versus Meax.
Positioning coming in from the side of Dystopia. They are going to be pushing towards this A site. Isabel has to deal with Pond as Fizzy and Tabby find a pick, making it to a 3v5. I just had a bit of a blank moment as a player on Meax did DC. LMK able to find random arrows. Post plant is alive though. 2 versus 5. We see a potential flawless 24 Gray trying to find a pick towards his first side or trying to spam. LMK is just sort of peeking it, and Fizzy taking down 24 Gray.
Just down to
just
Civ.
down to Civ into a 1 versus 5.
Ooh, DYS picking up that first round, and it's really important to get these early rounds, especially on Colonist Kitty, because once you swap sides, a lot of the attacking strategies have already been called. They've already been played out, and the team that's moving from attack first to defense has even more of an advantage. Not only is this arguably the most defender-sided map in the game, but this is also, you get less of a chance to create new strategies and new opportunities. The team that plays attack first, they can surprise the defense with anything. So getting a 2-round lead or a 3-round lead immediately here on Kitty attack is massive for DYS if they can pull it off.
And Civ able to find a kill, but LMK finds 2 as Tabby is going to be clearing out that backside. Civ, the only one to defend in the 1v2. Keep the gun up, it's just a 1v1 and a potential
He's not aware
as well. But LMK from Arches prefers the kill. It almost happened.
Civ finds one in the smoke, follows up with another running past him through the smoke, and then finds the third on site. What a performance from him, but it's not going to be enough to push Meax over the line. 2-0 for DYS, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. DYS can play extremely aggressive, play some surprise strategies, some weird angles here to get some early information, some early picks, and that gives DYS the opportunity to hold on to this lead going into the second half as we barely start our first. There is such momentum on this map, especially on the attacker side.
A spray through the skate park as now nades from Cave as well. Isabel having to deal with alleyway as well as his push up the grass. Smoke in there, trying to some noise towards the car. The spray, and Isabel swings on through, leaving LMK just swinging at the wrong time. And it's just down to a 5v4. Isabel goes down as well as random arrows.
Is this a...
Now LMK is going to make this
rotate? It is. It is a rotate.
They are.
Infused has to find both
Infused
here.
is gonna expect it, and Infused goes down.
Both players.
A is wide open. LMK holding from the escalator side.
Meax has to have a perfect double swing here or it's over.
And
Not
LMK
happening.
able to find Civ, as now it's just down to Gray. 1v3.
And LMK finds that.
Unable
Wow.
to find LMK as it's 3-0. That's the colonist too.
DYS baits Meax into a hard B hold by having a ton of early util, a ton of early presence on the skate park barricade and up towards waves. But then after a pick, they rotate in towards tree, they rotate in towards alley, they rotate in towards mid, and they push onto that A site and split the map in half, forcing Meax to play divided, play alone in the clutch. And it looks like Meax are not going to let that happen this round. They've got mid control, and they're playing a little bit further back to play for the rotate. 2 players at the top of waves towards tree here. And I'm not sure how this is going to work out. One up close could make a difference.
LMK is up all the way towards the alley side. It's in enemy territory, and it's going to be swinging out towards the smoke grenade. Head is down, trying to tuck it all the way. Unsuccessful though, and it's down to another 4v3. All 3 members of the Sophia are in skate. Fizzy is on critical health as well as Juke. As long as it's one body shot, it is done. And now they're going to try and wrap it. Fuse Power is there on bridge, finds one. But I think the call is there that they are going to start to wrap. Isabel goes down, and now Random Arrows has to wrap all the way back to A.
Scanner in possession of DYS. Both players below a quarter health. Random Arrows about 75. No utility here for either. Actually, Random Arrows does have one piece of utility. That could make a big difference here, isolating a 1v1.
I think Random Arrows is too loud, though.
Yeah, the sound cues give it away. DYS, they're all just tucked in, waiting for the right moment to strike. Walk straight past. Juke. shutting it down. 4-0 lead for DYS here on map 2. Like I said, looking to shut it down with a bunch of surprise plays early on to give them the lead. They have guaranteed a tie half at least. Meax cannot get 4 now, more than 4 on the Rayab defensive side. How do they make this work? I am not sure. They've tried playing back. They've tried playing spread out. They've tried dividing the map in half, but I think Meax, they need to get aggressive here on defense. They need to have good early nades. They need to have more mid control because they're just getting divided here. And DYS going for a fast play. Let's see.
LMK able to find the pick onto random arrows. Forces spawn side, 24 grade, there for the trade. And now Infused is able to find another pick as well. But Tabby able to confirm that kill on the powers. Tabby pushing it out towards the backside. Gets it in the form of a trade. 2v1. Pop-Tarts left alone in 1v2. It's getting shot from CT side. And the scan is down towards the
Backside, yeah.
But outside.
Yeah, Pop-Tart's new 24 gray was coming from bridge. That's the angle he was watching before he got shot at by Civ.
Headshot.
And now it's a 1v1. 24 gray, he's revealed his position, and Pop-Tarts has the opportunity to win this.
But 24 gray chose the right angle to watch and gets that first round for Meax.
That is a turning point. That's a turning point.
Too late.
No, that is a turning point. Momentum finally stepping up. I mean, that wasn't just a strong early round from Meax. That was a retake, and that was a strong retake at that. Good angles taken up. You saw it there from 24 gray himself. And I cannot wait to see a second round from Meax here. As much as I'm rooting on DYS, I want to see some ferocity out of Meax. And that's exactly what I want. Despite LMK winning that fight, 24 gray finally tries to take some mid control, and Meax need map control if they're going to try to take more rounds here.
And their map control is just gone. LMK gets a bit too aggressive as Infused power is still there, but Civ has to defend his side alone, has to at least do something. Unfortunately, unable to find at least one specific pick onto the side of Dystopia. They're going to get the scan off, and now it's just down to Infused power in a 1v4 and has to play a guessing game.
Yeah, up against the barrier here. Busy.
Expect it. As Juke gets that kill as it's going to be the 5th for Global Dystopia.
Meax can now only get 3 rounds on defense at most. Even more difficult. The gap is widening here for Meax, and the clock is ticking. This may only be map 2, but DYS is already up by 1. I don't know. Meax just, they need to switch up how they're playing. We saw some aggression there that round from mid, but it didn't work out. They need to have better support systems in place. They need to have a second player support that mid aggression, that skate park aggression, and ooh, that's not how you want to start this round, but bridge push could make a difference.
As Infused goes down, as well as Civ in the form of a trade, able to at least find Juke. But still, Gray is the one alone, and really alone, in a 1v3. Scan is going to go up. A check. 50 doesn't check. It's an absolute body shot. But now his location is revealed. It's a knock from downtown. And an absolute headshot as 24 Gray gets styled on.
6 rounds for DYS. The gap has widened by 1 more. Meax only able to get 2 on defense. I mean, the only other time I've seen a dominating performance like this on key to attack is by Acer when they're facing a team that has no chance against them. DYS is really showing who's boss here on map 2. They have practiced this map so much in scrims. They are ready and they are kicking and they are looking to go into the lower finals.
They're gonna get aggressive. Isabel finds that pick onto Juke. This fight on bridge between Random Arrows and LMK is still there. Civ is actually able to find 2, potentially a 3rd. Nope, unfortunately not. As Binky's still gonna back off. LMK wins that fight on bridge, and now it's down to a 4v2, and it looks finally in favor of the side of Meax. But it feels like it's a little bit too late in the game.
Crouching up alley here. Risky.
Okay, finds the pick on the Civ. Isabel tries to spray through. Gets LMK. Just down to Fizzy in a 1v2. Isabel is weak.
Fizzy spotted on the
Just have to deal
cross.
with 24 Gray.
Oh, he crouches back. He's baited this rotate. Isabel's 1 HP, so she's not even thinking about positioning right now. She's just thinking, get info.
Is there.
Gray
And
knows.
Fizzy doesn't expect 24 Gray from the grass side. 2-6 is going to be your final count of the first half as we swap sides.
Yeah, I mean, I can't blame Isabel when you're low there. You're trying so desperately to give your team another round. You're not thinking about, oh, what if they bait us to rotate? What if they throw a fake piece of utility or go completely silent? You just commit to an action and hope that it works out. And 24 Gray luckily able to pick up a little bit of the slack there after Isabel absolutely dominates that alley position. And that's what we needed to see out of Meax on that defender side. We needed more alley aggression, more alley holds. But it looks like LMK could have a big nade here. Does a bit of damage.
It's a big responsibility. Tabby is able to find Civ with that frag grenade. The push on the skate park is there. Fizzy with that PM.
He picks up a flash off the body and continues to push. What is this?
LMK gets random arrows in the form of a trade. It's just down to Gray and infused power. Once again. Now it's a 2v4. Scan is down. Fizzy does get spotted, called out. Where at skate park? Infused power gonna confirm that kill. 2v3. The push on the highway. The gunshots there. Smoke grenade tossed as well to deny at least some type of vision. And they're able to achieve this scanner.
Juke hears that. He's going to call that out. LMK ready to swing. Good timing.
Infused power expects push. It's going to be split.
They're just getting pinched. It's 3.
They're just getting absolute gold here. And Gray is trying to push on through, but Juke is there behind the tarp. Behind it. And 24 Gray wins that fight. 30 seconds left. It's going to take the gunfights head on instead of trying to go for the rack. And Pop-Tarts pays for it.
Wow. An absolute pistol shutout from DYS, and they are now at 7. I wouldn't expect DYS to win all their pistols, but picking up that one is just another prize on top of the trophies that they are earning here. 2-0. After a rough performance versus an EU team, or a mixed EU-NA team, they now absolutely dominate a different EU team that upset the #1s in the EU region. And maybe it wasn't just the EU difference after all. Maybe DYS has adapted in time for this. Or maybe Meax is just having a rough map. It happens. There is inconsistency in not only your plays, but the game. As Juke picks up the first, that's not what you want if you're Meax.
The dreaded 8, the potential life round to keep them in. It's going to be a trade between Tabby Gray and 24 Gray. As Civ is able to find Juke down to another 3v3. LMK also falls.
2 to
and
3.
now the push is going to be focused on a Pop-Tarts all the way back in CT Rock. Immediately falls as well, just down to Fizzy in another 1v3. And the scan is going to go live.
Fizzy coughs in that smoke. There's no room for error now. He has to find all 3. But it's not happening.
Not there. The coordination and positioning from Meax in that post plant is good enough. Basically getting these 1v1 fights that Fizzy's trying to look.
Meax pick up another. The DYS are still on the brink of victory. It's 2 rounds that DYS has to get to Meax's 6 to force a map 3. We'll see if they take a little bit slower of a pace to look for picks here, or if they go in for another A-side rush, considering A is the site they were just able to capture.
As LMK gets really aggressive and gets paid for it. Now Isabel up on the bridge side. Flashbang is also there. He accidentally does flash Isabel, so no full extension yet.
Yeah, Juke is still alive.
And Tabby watching that window as well. Maybe it's going to be thrown. That's a little bit too far in. And now Juke is going to be swinging on through.
Oh.
Gets a trade with infused power. But now it's an even 3-on-3. Location of A is still unknown. Civ is still trying to watch this CT side wins the fight against Tabby, and 24 Gray gets a trade just down to Pop-Tarts in a 1v2.
And Pop-Tarts has revealed his position as well. It's a 1 versus 2 to keep DYS chugging towards match point. No utility on the board here for Meax. Random Arrows is tagged up, so there is an opportunity for Random Arrows to force Meax to maybe ego peek just a little bit. We'll have to see if Meax makes a coordinated peek out of this, and it doesn't look like it. Meax pick up their 4th, and now it's looking like Meax are pushing for their map point. They've gotten 2 in a row now. And DYS, they need to come up with something new. I mean, to be fair, Meax had the same issue. Was it a map control issue? Was it a utility issue?
I think it was map control.
Yeah, I'd say it was a map.
One.
I'd say it was a map control issue.
They gave up a bunch of positioning. You look in the Suna map, especially B site. Vortex have had full control of it.
Ooh, 24 Gray with that opening pick. That is massive, but a huge smoke from LMK. I have never seen anyone land that smoke before.
And now it is looking like Meax has started to come alive, as it's just down to a 5v2.
What a shot from Pop-Tarts.
Dystopia. Pop-Tarts lands an absolute headshot. And now the plant is going to be on the B side. LMK and Pop-Tart going to have to do something. Isabel finds the pick out to LMK, just down to Pop-Tarts in a 1v4. But it's starting to look grim for Dystopia, as Isabel does find that pick onto... Oh no, Pop-Tarts does find the pick onto Isabel. But a 1v3, as it looks like we are going to be facing a 5th round for the side of Meax. Unless Pop-Tarts could find something. But the double swing is going to come through. It is...
Round starting.
As Meax are starting to climb back.
Yep. And I think DYS, they need to save their utility a bit here. They need to play it safe and force those pushes out of Meax. I mean, DYS taking straight gunfights, it's not working out for them anymore. They need to figure out, is it the positioning, is it the util? And I'd say, while they're getting map control, they're pushing it a little bit too far without utility, without backup. And that's what's giving Meax these individual picks. They're swinging in 2, 3 at a time, finding the first pick despite taking damage, and that's what LMK needs to do. Beautiful nade, and now DYS has a chance to force map point.
Early pick, able to take down Isabel. And is going to get retrieved soon, but still, the side of Meax, they need to take initiation. They need to take map control. As Civ falls as well, Tabby swings on through and able to make a call out. There's going to be a couple of members. It's going to be a full-on push from the side of Air, but Random Arrow is able to find LMK, who tries to jump shot it. Nade is going to be thrown a little bit too far, a little bit in their own territory. And now they're going to try and start to wrap. They're going to wrap all the way through.
Juke is calling this right now. He hears all of these players. He needs to find one of them.
The fuse goes down, but without the trade coming in from Random Arrows. 50 seconds left. Scan has to go through. Random Arrows falls. Gray is the last one alive in a 1v2. Scan is going to go up. He has to make a commit. He has to commit to one angle. And Tabby's going to swing on through. And that is going to be the 8th. As we will be facing series point.
Or DYS,
or
yeah.
Dystopia.
Wow. That is exactly what they need. Early utility usage, strong performance, and then following up, playing for the info, calling it, calling the rotate, calling every sound, and not only guaranteeing a trade, but guaranteeing time for DYS to rotate Juke. Absolutely a vital position and a vital pick there that round. Maybe dying, but stalling out that push just another second to give DYS the opportunity to rotate, giving them their 8th round, giving them series point, and now DYS is confident going into this round considering they just won that one. This could be a 9-5, this could be a full stop for Meax, but we'll have to see how they work this push and see if it determines the end of this match. Oh, what an aid from LMK! What was that?
LMK, an absolute beam. Just out sweeping infused power. And now it's going to be the smoke there. Try to have a little bit of a response.
Duke once again going to be hearing these bridge plays. Knows the player's up on bridge.
Hesitation as 44 Gray somehow finds LMK with that knife. As it's an even 4-4. Nade is going to be thrown into a bit short on the highway side. Look at this
Duke's close
rotation.
here.
They're going to be...
Scanner's down.
But Duke gets 2! And it's just down to Civ as we say goodbye to the final full European team left in this bracket. One more kill and it is there.
DYS to
goodbye to
move
Meax.
on. Wow.
As Dystopia moves on.
Meax knocked down. Global
Face
Dystopia moves
wrecked.
on. Is it wrecked? Yeah, it is wrecked.
It is wrecked.
The rematch. Oh man, Ariel taking a map off of wrecked, but Global Dystopia moving forward to take them on in a rematch. Loser of Acer versus Ivy will face the winner of wrecked versus Global Dystopia. I think it's time we swap off the Dystopia train and we head over to the winners bracket, which is Acer versus Ivy. What do you think?
Let's go see winners finals, because we still have a grand finals that hasn't been decided yet. We still don't know who those finalists are. Is it gonna be Ivy, who has been rolling through, has been kind of upsetting a lot of these teams, and even though there was a little bit of nail biters, but still, hopefully they put up a good match against Acer. And so we need to see someone on the side who potentially goes on to face Acer or Ivy in the lower finals.
We'll be right back with Acer versus Ivy, our winners bracket finals, and then we'll be moving on to the loser of that versus the winner of Wrecked and Global Dystopia. Man, we've just got 3 matches left. The top 4 teams, Acer, Ivy, Wrecked, and Global Dystopia. Who will manage to break onto the podium here between Wrecked and Global Dystopia?